Like Samantha says, more people, more fun. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is April if you're new here, and today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite subgenres of romance, and it is waichus. I love waichus stories, and if you don't know what that is, it is the other term for reverse harem, meaning one female and multiple male love interests. Why do I really love this genre? That's a good question. I think I just love seeing the dynamics of all the different love interests together. Like sometimes there's multiple people together, sometimes she just kind of goes along with one, you know, and they rotate or whatever. But I don't know. I think it just makes for a fun, hot dynamic. I don't know. I just love it, okay? I just love it. Jess from Honest Fiction recently made this video, and I've had this like on one of my sticky notes for a long time, but she kind of gave me the push to actually like make my own recommendations. So let's get into it right away. The first book that actually got me into waichus books was the Vicious Lost Boys series. This book, The Never King, and all the subsequent books with the darlings. What's going on in this book is that every darling female, when they reach of age, is stolen by Peter Pan because Peter Pan believes locked in their memories is he can find his shadow. His shadow is missing. It has gone rogue, okay? And him and his lost boyfriends take this darling and basically interrogate her in a not so nice way, but surprise, surprise, she actually likes it. So it's between this Winnie darling and Peter Pan and two lost boys and then this demon person. And I really loved it. I think it was dark and it was a bit adventurous. It was nothing like Peter Pan, like nothing like Peter Pan. It's brutal. In fact, some scenes where like, I just love those scenes where somebody just rips a heart out of somebody. Stuff like that happens in this series. And it's all so dramatic. The audiobooks, fantastic, super fantastic. I love them all. I highly recommend consuming this story on audiobook. And honestly, it just really got me into the genre. I just didn't know like things could be this like this. And I know it's like a lot of people don't like this because it's just ultra spicy, but you know what? I'm a spicy gal. I love it. The next one I want to talk about is the Bonsatai series. This again is another one where I tried next and I just kind of really loved it. I am lost through most of these books, and it takes me on this adventure where like some of them I give 5 stars and some of them I give 3 stars and some of them I give 4 stars. But like honestly, it's a ride. Like I had a good time with this series. You meet Oleander and she has escaped her mates. Like in this world, your fated mates are called bonds and you can have multiple ones. And of course she's got multiple ones. But she doesn't want to hurt them or something like that. So she escapes them for about 5 years and lives on her own. And in the first book especially, her bonds are not happy. They track her down and bring her back kicking and screaming. And they basically lock her up. Like she cannot go anywhere. And they're like, you're going to school. You're going to be a human being who gets an education. She can't go anywhere. And it's the beginning of her relationship with these guys. And of course, everyone hates everyone in this one. And it takes some time for things to turn. This story really just throws you into it. Like it's not going to give you any explanation of what's going on. You are kind of learning things, not as she learns them, but as you learn them. So that's one thing that kind of makes it a little bit confusing at first, but I just roll with it. I don't know. I don't question a lot of things. I just like go with it. Okay, she's just like a prisoner. That's all I know. But I really enjoyed this, and each of the men are really like distinctive for me. I specifically love Nox and North, which are the brothers, and they're both shadow daddies. So like I just love them. I even have a t-shirt of Nox and North. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. I wear it all the time. And yeah, this series was just really good. And the next white choose that I have is Traitor Witch. This series was recommended to me by Hannah Blackwell, and I'm so glad she did because I really enjoyed this. This one's more plot heavy in the first book, so you're not going to get a ton of romance, but I think it does ramp up its steam level or spice level as the books go on. You're following Nilsa, who is an assassin lunar witch. And so there's like kind of two different factions. There's like lunar witches and then there's solar witches. She's a lunar witch. However, something happens, something occurs where she is framed for the murder of the top witches of both the lunar and the solar factions. And so she's on the run, she's on the lam, she's trying to get away, she's trying to run away, and what do you know, she bumps right into one of her fated mates. Now she doesn't know that she has multiple fated mates in this one, but they know, and somehow they coaxed her onto a pirate ship. They are all pirates. There's like an elf guy, there's like a shifter guy, like there's just different characters in this one, and they all have very distinctive voices, and I really loved them. I also really love the fact that she has no idea that these guys, like they saw her coming because one of them is like a seer and can see the future. They knew she was gonna be there. They knew they were gonna run into her, and they're just like trying not to scare her away as she's trying to like figure out who actually killed these goddesses or whatever, these head witches, and like clear her name, right? They're gonna help her. So I like, this was kind of again an adventure, and this was again another first book where the spice is not heavy-handed in any way. Like they're very much like slowly taking their time to build up to that, and I really liked it. One that doesn't take its time to get going is Arrival. This is by Minerva Kayden, and this is again a pirate romance. Look, I read a lot of these, okay? I really enjoy pirates. This one, you have 4 pirates, basically north, south, east, west, you know, that kind of thing, in a kingdom. Their kingdom is dying. It's like drowning, like it's sinking into the ocean for some reason, because all their powers are like all over the place. And in order to combine their powers or help their kingdom, they have to steal a woman from another realm. So she's kind of like pulled in by a portal, and then have their way with her, whether she likes it or not. Lucky for them, this girl has like the biggest pirate fantasy ever. And she's like, wow. This book isn't funny at all, okay? This book isn't funny at all. It just like, I loved that part where she's just like, I'm here, okay? I'm down and I'm here. What I loved about this white choose is that they are all vicious, murderous pirates, but they all kind of have their own kinks, and so they all like each have their time together with her before they have to do like a group thing, right? To bring back the powers for this kingdom. And once you hit one of them, like the rest of them kind of one up each other. Like the first one, you're like, oh, that's a pretty good sex scene. And the next one, you're like, dang, that was even better. And the next one, you're like, dang, that was even better. And that's what I really loved about this one. Like they're all different, and they all have their own individual relationships with her, as much as one can have after just, you know, a single bang. But like, it was pretty good. And then there was just like this slight underlying plot. This book does actually end in a cliffhanger, which I actually kind of liked. I need to read the second one though, because it was a really good cliffhanger. I need to get back to this one, I really do. And of course, I cannot have a white choose romance video without mentioning the Mate Games. I love the Mate Games. I'm glad Maggie basically bullied us all to read the Mate Games. I'm glad she did. Again, read this on audiobook. The audiobooks are great. They're duet narrated. So you know, it's not like one voice for the whole chapter, it's multiple voices in multiple chapters. So it's really, really well done. Some of the best in the business are doing this audiobook. And it's between like a demigod and a couple vampires. And one of them is like a priest, an Irish priest daddy. Oh my God, I love Caleb. But like, and a werewolf. And they all have, again, their own very distinctive voices in this, but also it's just silly and funny and fun. Like, this is so fun. This whole series is fun. And they each have their time with the heroine. And I just thought it was great. Again, I really think this is best read with friends. Like, it's great buddy read material. And you can all play off each other because you're gonna be like, what did he say? What? It's just fantastic and great. Oh, by the way, it's kind of like she has to get with these guys in order to prevent the apocalypse. So that's how ridiculous it is, okay? And then my last Why Choose is one that I absolutely love. Again, Maggie kind of talked me into reading this one. I don't know why. I don't think she had to talk me into it very hard. Like, I was down for it. It's Cute but Psycho by Beatrix Hollow. I read books before by Beatrix Hollow, some novellas that I really, really loved. Super spicy, super interesting novellas. So I was down for this one. This one, the heroine is stalking her psychiatrist. And she's finding out that her psychiatrist is a serial killer. He frames her and she has to go to this mental institution for monsters. So everyone there has powers and they're all some kind of monster. And they all get experimented on by a different psychiatrist. So in this one you have 3 heroes. The psychiatrist that is also a vampire. That's why he's a serial killer. He's collecting blood. You have a basilisk who cannot touch anybody. So he wears these crazy masks all the time. Like, he has a huge collection of masks, including like clown masks and rabbit masks and like all these different masks. He's like also in head to toe leather, and he like collects dead bodies that die around there as like friends to talk to because he cannot touch anyone. So he'll like dance with the dead bodies to like Frank Sinatra, and like it's so ridiculous. And then there's this very quiet alpha werewolf character that he's always like frustrated at the basilisk because he has to be the alpha, and the basilisk is like the toughest one. He can't like kill, you know, and the thing. So, and then they're all being experimented on. Like, every single person in this book is psychotic, including the heroine, but they're also just very charming in their own ways. Like, it's just crazy. This book is entirely too long. It does not have to be this long, but it's also incredibly spicy and just like a treat. Like, it feels like a treat to read. I again read this on audiobook. I think that's the way to go with this one as well. But I really want to read the next one in this series as well. I think there's a second book coming out later this year. I highly enjoyed this one, honestly. I just wish it was a little bit shorter. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, just a teensy bit shorter. But again, I just really love when all of the love interests have their own unique dynamics with the heroine and also have their own unique voice in the story. If the heroes start sounding too similar, I lose interest because I just cannot keep them separated. So those are all my favorite Why Choose romances. Let me know if you've read a Why Choose book lately that you think I should read, especially if it's fantasy romance. Okay, like, give it to me now. I just want to eat all those up. It's one of my favorite subgenres. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe if you want to hear more content from me. I would really love it and it helps my channel grow. Again, thank you for joining me and have a wonderful day.